You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. Not physically alone, emotionally invisible. You smile, you respond, you exist in conversations, but inside, something feels missing. Like no one really sees you. Like you are present, but not known. And the quiet question follows you. Why do I feel lonely? Even when I am not alone. You sit with friends, yet feel slightly outside the circle. You talk, but your words feel filtered, edited, safe. There are things you never say, thoughts you swallow, emotions you translate into something acceptable. So people know your voice, but not your inner world. You laugh when expected, not when required. Reply when spoken to. But something inside whispers, this is not fully me. And slowly, you begin to feel unseen. Not because others ignore you, but because they only see the version of you that survives socially. This loneliness is quiet, invisible, difficult to explain. You are connected, yet disconnected. But here is the strange part. This pattern did not begin randomly. It began as protection. You are not broken. You are adapted. At some point, your mind learned something. Being fully seen can feel unsafe. Maybe openness once led to rejection. Maybe vulnerability met silence. Maybe your real emotions were misunderstood or ignored. So your brain made a quiet decision. Stay acceptable. Stay safe. Stay filtered. And this worked. You avoided conflict. You avoided judgment. You stayed socially included. But protection has a hidden cost. When you hide parts of yourself long enough, you begin to feel unseen even by people who care. Your loneliness is not caused by isolation. It is caused by emotional invisibility. And invisibility is not the absence of people. It is the absence of being known. But why does the brain do this? The human brain is wired for social safety. Your nervous system constantly scans one question: am I accepted or rejected? Because, historically, rejection meant danger. Isolation meant survival risk. So your brain developed a strategy. Adapt yourself to remain included. Here is the metaphor. Your mind is like a sound mixer. It lowers the volume of emotions that might cause rejection and raises the volume of behaviors that maintain connection. Over time, this becomes automatic. The mental model is simple. Protection filtering emotional distance loneliness. You protect yourself, you filter your true self. People connect with the filtered version. You feel unseen, loneliness grows. Not because connection is absent, but because authenticity is missing. And the brain continues this loop because it believes it is keeping you safe. But safety without authenticity feels empty. So what breaks this silent cycle? Shift 1. Notice the social mask. What to do? Start observing when you edit yourself in conversations. Why it works? Self-awareness activates the prefrontal cortex, reducing automatic emotional suppression patterns. Example: you hesitate before sharing a real opinion and instead give a neutral answer. Pause. Notice the moment. This is where loneliness begins, not outside, but inside. Shift 2. Allow small, authentic signals. What to do? Reveal tiny pieces of your real self, not everything, just something honest. Why it works? Gradual emotional exposure rewires the brain's threat response, teaching it that authenticity does not equal rejection. Example: instead of saying "I'm fine," you say, "Honestly, today felt heavy." Small truth, real connection, reduced emotional isolation. Shift 3. Separate rejection from identity. What to do? Understand that not everyone connecting with you does not mean something is wrong with you. Why it works? The brain often equates rejection with personal threat, but reframing reduces emotional defensiveness and fear-driven masking. Example: someone misunderstands you. Instead of retreating, you think, "They didn't see me fully, not because I am wrong, but because connection takes time." This weakens the fear loop. Shift 4. Create one real connection. What to do? Focus on depth, not many connections. One emotionally honest relationship can reduce loneliness significantly. Why it works? Deep emotional validation activates bonding hormones like oxytocin, reducing perceived isolation. Example: you speak honestly with one trusted person, not perfectly, but sincerely. For the first time, you feel slightly seen. Loneliness softens not because people increased, but because authenticity did. Here is the simple mental model. Loneliness is not always about being alone. It is about being unseen. And being unseen often begins with self-protection. Your mind filters connection, becomes partial. You feel invisible, loneliness appears. So the real shift is not find more people. It is let yourself be seen slowly, safely, honestly, not fully, not suddenly, just gradually. Because connection is not built on perfection. It is built on emotional truth, and loneliness fades when your inner self and outer self begin to meet. Maybe your loneliness was never about people. Maybe it was about invisibility. And maybe you were not invisible to others, you were invisible behind protection. Not broken, not strange, not alone, just guarded. And slowly, gently, as you allow yourself to be seen even a little, you may notice something quiet changing. The room feels warmer, conversations feel real, and the loneliness that once felt permanent begins to loosen its grip. Because the opposite of loneliness is not noise, it is being known.